Okay, class. Let us try to solve some problems at the end of our section, uh, chapter 3, section 4. So number 1 is asking us to use the graph of a known function, and they want us to vertically shift the sketch, right, of this particular function. So our first function here is f of x equals x squared minus 1. So really, if you graph this, it's probably 1, 1, 1, 1, and then it's going to be 2, 4. Oops, 2, 4 right here. 2, 4 is right here. So we can graph this. It looks something like this. Okay. And this is going to be our f of x. Okay, this is a basic function. And then what you could typically do now, they want us to be able to shift this over vertically by -1. Okay, so this right here symbolizes that we have to shift the graph down by -1. And in doing so, it looks something of this nature. I could just bring this down here by -1. Okay, so now this now becomes f of x. This now becomes this right here, our f of x now equals x squared minus 1. So the previous one was actually f of x equals x squared. Okay, so that's how you do the first problem. The second problem here, rather than me try to graph it, but just kind of know how this basic function looks. It looks something like this. It's a square root. Looks something like this. And now all we have to do now, we have to actually move it up by 2. Okay. So 1, 2. Okay. So now this is our f of x equals square root of x plus 2. Okay. The next one, the square root of the cube root of x minus 2. Again, when you have this kind of formation, it lets us know this is going to be the parent of the basic function, and then we're going to shift it vertically down by 2. Okay, so it's going to look something similar to this. Okay, this is f of x equals a cube root of x. Okay, and now when you shift this down, you're going to shift this down by 2. 1, 2. Okay, now this becomes minus 2. Okay, and this is our h of x, sorry. H of x. Okay, let's do another one here, whereby we have g of x equals x cubed plus 1. So the basic function looks something like this. Okay, and this is going to be your g of x equals x cubed. Okay, now you want to be able to accommodate this vertical shift, right? And now that typically goes to, you raise it up by 1. You go up vertically by 1. So you're moving this particular graph here by 1. Starting from here, 1. Okay, that's all it is. So now this becomes plus 1. Okay, now we are looking at, they ask us here that the graph below was created by vertically shifting the graph of the basic function. They want us to write the function that describes the graphs below. Okay, so for this particular graph, the basic function really is x squared. This is a parabola, but then it has a vertical shift downward, so that'll be minus 1. this is your answer. So this f of x equals this. This is your answer right here. Okay. Now we see here that this basic function right here. The basic function um, is going to be x cubed. Okay, so an x cubed, we see that it moved up from 1, 2. So the f of x function is going to be f of x equals x cubed plus 2. This is your answer right here. Okay. Okay, yes. 0.2. Yes, okay. Let's go to number 9 here. So our basic function really is going to be the square root of x. Okay. In this case, so the function typically will be f of x. Since it moved down by 3 units vertically. So it's going to be f of x square root of x plus, minus 3 because it moved down. Okay, this is your answer right here. Okay. Then we have another one here. This is going to be, I believe, 0, comma 4. It moved up 4 units. So the basic function, okay, is absolute value of x. Again, this is the ability of recognizing how these graphs look from a basic function, and then you can see it's being moved from the 0, 0 point. Let's move this way, right? So this right here is f of x equals absolute value of x. Now, if you want to address this particular function that's moved 4 units up, your new f of x happens to be now absolute value of x plus 4. And this is your answer. And this is right there. This is your answer. Okay. Now, they say use the graph y of x. This is y of x here. To sketch the graph f of x minus 1. So in this case, and then label these 3 points on the new graph. So we can do this. We can actually move this down by 1. And then what are the points? So the point here is going to be negative 2, comma, negative 1. This point right here is going to be 1, comma, 0. And this point right here is going to be 0, comma, negative 1. Okay? So those are the 3 new points when you shift the graph down by negative 1. And we can kind of get rid of this right here. Okay? So this is going to be your new, your y happens to be f of x minus 1. That's the new graph now. Okay? Let's go one more. Now they want us, this is our y of x. Y equals the f of x. And they want us to sketch the graph of f of x plus 2. Right? And label at least 3 points. So in other words, we are to actually move this graph here. We're going to move it up by 2 units. 1, 2. Okay? And now we can get rid of this. And now they want us to find the new points, at least 3 of them. So here's going to be, this is 0, 0 right here. 1, 2, 3, up 1. So that's 3, comma 1. This right here is going to be 2, 0, right? And then here would be 1, 1, 2, 3. It's going to be 1, 3. And those are 3 points. And I'm going to stop right here. Because sometimes it takes a long time to load these videos onto YouTube, and it's just so I have to try to make them shorter. Thank you very much, and I'll continue. Thank you.